Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. Flight boss, the Archangel URIEL. And Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're going to talk about how to know if you're going to have a boy or a girl way before the doctors know it. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things like the ancients knew. Well, I'm not even going to say the ancients specifically knew this, because I was here way before them. And I was a star. So I'm here to explain how things specifically work. Even in ways where we didn't have to physically conjoin with each other to create life. The lower density, the more physicality it is, the more elements has to come together. So you have whatever elements you consist of is more of it. You physically see a positive and negative female and male in front of you, but that's besides the fact. Let me explain to y'all how to know if you're going to have a boy or a girl, because you see what I'm saying? There are smaller, shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gases, aka spirits, consciousness, all around you, and they're already vibrating at certain frequency vibrators based upon what their relative charges is trying to search. So they're looking for a body, you know what I'm saying, and they have to come into a realm of reality, a form of fluid, you know what I'm saying. So they have to pick bodies. Now in this realm of reality, you are the larger, shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas that already preceded them. So you already have a body that's bigger than a vessel that they can handle. So this shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas, you may see it as sunlight, an idea, an imagination, a thought. You see what I'm saying? You can go to my video that your thoughts are not yours, and you will understand that concept. And when we talk about spirits, you have angels and demons. That's a spirit. A cold spirit would be a demon. A hot spirit would be a angel. You know what I'm saying? So cold go down and under and go beneath you till they be above something that's even less than that, and then the angel go above and higher, and then they go up under something. So it's really truly no up and down compared. It's just like a density level. This is why we are in a sphere right now. But that's another video. We ain't gonna get into that. Now, how to know you're gonna have a boy or girl. Now, like I said, now right here, this is a perspective of charge, sparks. But you have to know what create a spark. We know when a frequency vibration come together, it creates a spark, and you get to see the energy out of it. You know what I'm saying? So the metaphysics spark, how we see it in astrology, the spark. Now, when we're looking at the left brain and the right brain, the left brain is going to be geared towards logic, the positive, the male energetic spark. Now, this is not mean. This is not. You can't get into what's bad or good when we're talking about this. These are just energetic forces. Then when we get into and that's square. Now when we get into the right brain, that's round. That's the negative. That's the illogical. That's the irrational. It's not even in the form of thought. It's not even in the headspace realm like that. So that's the realm of imagination, the void, the waters. So that's that. That's the negative vibration. You see what I'm saying? So you have two forms. So that's a spark. These are two sparks. Just like you have a negative battery, a positive battery. These are sparks. So when you want to look at the male, right? Look at now as the male, right? Now the male creates the first body for a spirit. You see what I'm saying? So the fluids. So for an example, now in the process of having sex, right? And then when a man ejaculates into a woman, right? Now in the process of having sex, now this highly depends on the male. Now the male and the female is both important in this, but we're going to go step by step. The male, here's where the male come in important, because the male makes the first body. So the male makes the first body. The first body is like a sperm cell or something like that, or the fluids. It's not it don't become the sperm cell until it's in the lowest version of the chakra, because when you come into this realm of reality, you're coming into the lowest vibration of it. This is why you could walk on land and shit like that. But you know what I'm saying? Now, the male. Now, based upon the ideas and the things that he could be in his left hemisphere space. He could be in his mind and his idea space and his thoughts and his agenda space, or he could be in the right brain space, the negative charge space. He could be in a space of not having any thoughts at all, just lost into the feelings and emotions, not even knowing what he's doing at all. He could just busting that out. It's like an accident almost. You see what I'm saying? He's just in it. You see what I'm saying? And lost into the emotions and feelings, almost to the point that it can be resolved into making love also. Now, opposed to the left brain, or you're just fucking, or you got things on your mind while you're having sex, and things on your idea, and things that you're trying to logically comprehend while you having sex. For the most part, it can go into many different realms of reality. Say if you're a male and you having sex with a beautiful woman, you might got on your mind like, okay, yeah, the homie's gonna fuck with me if I get her pregnant. Like things like that on your mind and stuff like that. That's things that's on your mind, in your head space, and the things that you're thinking about and stuff like that. That's the positive charge. Anytime you're in the void and you black out, you're in the, and I don't want to say like literally black out, but you're in the void and you're not thinking much, you're not really thinking at all, you're just in the moment and just in the feeling of it, the moment, motion, emotion, feelings, the movement of it, and fucking like that, and you're not in your head space that much. That's the negative charge. That's the negative charge. You see what I'm saying? So when a male start to create the sperm and the first body for a spirit to take, right? Because spirits, they can't wait, right? Spirits is already vibrating on a certain frequency. See, you got smaller versions of shapeless, odorless, non-flammable gas. You just see them as ideas or thoughts or air, something that you breathe in. But this is how you get thoughts and ideas and things of that nature. These are spirits. Now, they're vibrating on that frequency, right? And based upon what headspace you was in, whatever spirit is vibrating on, whether the more positive side or the negative side, that's the one that's going to be able to jump into that first body. So let's make an example. Let's say a person was in the positive space, the left brain hemisphere, had a bunch of shit on the male had a bunch of shit on their mind when they was fucking. Okay, well that's the positive charge. So you're gonna get a positive spirit. Now we're not saying a bad or good spirit. We're just saying the positive charge. We're gonna get a spirit that resonate with the positive charge. Now once that spirit, boom, take that body. Boom, you ejaculate and it goes into a woman now. Now the egg cell, now that the body that's in that the spirit that jumped into that body of the fluid, the sperm, right, is controlling that sperm now. So now it's vibrating on a positive frequency. So when it search for the egg, right, whatever egg it get is the other body it gets. So it start to shape it, just like, for an example, you look at your brain, right? You start your shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas. It start to, I'm telling you how it's doing it when you was in your father. You built the fluid around you, right? And then that became tissue. Then you got a brain around you. Then you built things around that. Then you built a skull. Then you built shit around that. Then you built shit around that. Now you this, and then based upon your travel through these space travels to sustain yourself, you keep building new bodies based upon your level of experience and what you are learning. See, what you are learning, you think it's just information, but what you're actually doing is understanding the elements that you're in. But it's coming to you as information and knowledge, and you think you're learning things. You think you're learning math and shit like that, when really you're just in a realm of reality of observing elements that's taking different patterns based upon the location of space that you're in right now. But that's another video. Now when you go into the egg cell as the mother, right, you take on her, the charge affect her so much that this is why she could be like, oh, the baby kicking, or oh, the baby is doing this, or the baby is doing that, because the spirit that jumped into the sperm is controlling the sperm as the first body. Then it goes into the egg cell, and then it starts to develop the other body around it. And then once those two things merge together, it gets to expand. You know what I'm saying? It's like the spark. It's like the spark in the charge in the battery now. It gets to expand, right? And it gets to take the shape and form of whatever charge it resonated with. And we made an example. Since it's the positive charge, it's going to come out as the positive version of the entity of its end, which aka it comes out as a boy. You see what I'm saying? And you could do this with the same with the female. If a man was in his right brain state, wasn't even in thinking, and this was fucking in his emotions, and he was more in his emotions and feelings, or he was more in no thought, he was more in the void, then that's the negative charge. So the spirits that take the first body that he create with it being a sperm and ejaculation, the spirit that take that will be a spirit that resonate more with the negative charge. So boom. It controls the first body, which is the sperm. Then boom, it goes into the second body, which is the egg cell within the woman. And then once it resonates more with her negative charge of her body, it gets to create the shape and form of the negative attribute, aka come out as a female. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's where we come in. You want to talk about gay people or people. Now, I'm not saying this is as in right or wrong, so don't talk down on me or anything like that. I'm just talking about it is what it is. Now, as far as, now say as the male, right? The male may be in a confused place. Not to say the male may be gay, but say the male got a bunch of things going on in their life. They're drinking a lot, or they're smoking a lot, or they're doing a bunch of things in their life that got them conflicted with their thoughts and their emotions and feelings. Like people with bad habits. That's people who are conflicted with their thoughts and their emotions. Their thoughts is telling them to quit, but their feelings and emotions is telling them to hold on to it because they need it in some type of way, shape, or form. So they make it a part of themselves. So things like that could lead on to confliction. I'm just trying to give y'all an idea of how the male doesn't necessarily have to be gay, but can birth a gay child. You see what I'm saying? Now, in the midst of having sex and the male ejaculating in the woman, right? Now, say the male is in his left and right brain state, but he doesn't bring them together like he know himself. He's lost and confused into the physical realm because there's so much things in society, right, that'll make you lost and confused into knowing what you already doing. You already be having the power to do shit, but you're lost and confused thinking that you're doing other shit. So you don't know if you're having a boy or a girl. You have to wait till the doctor tell you and shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, say as the male, right, he's confused in his life in some type of way. So when he has sex, he's going through a lot of things in his life or things of that nature. But when he has sex and before he ejaculate, his mind is a confused spirit with his spirit because he has to use his own spirit to create the fluids for another spirit to take that body, to inhabit it, right? To come into its world, its dragon. So, you know, if the male conflicted, like as in the middle of having sex, got a bunch of thoughts on his head, but then got a lot of emotions and feelings also. So it's like, oh man, I don't know if I want to stay in or pull out, but at the same time, oh, but I love this girl and I don't need to think about that. You know what I'm saying? This conflictings and things of that nature, right? Then that person's, the male got a confused spirit, so the body, the vessel is creating, which is the sperm, when it go down to the lower chakra, may be kind of a confused type of fluid. So it's resonating on that frequency vibration because the male is. So the spirit, any spirit that's vibrating on that type of frequency is going to like to take that body or just go into the light. It's like going into the light in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? And then when they go into the light because they felt comfortable with that light, boom, you attracted a confused spirit. So that when that confused spirit take that confused body, boom, ejaculate, go into the woman, boom. And then now a confused body, that confused spirit went into the first confused body. So when it went into the second world, which is the 2D world, which is the woman, the mother, right? In that world, it's still confused. So it don't know if it want to take more of the positive charge or the negative charge. So it's kind of conflicted. So, you know, in some way, shape, or form, it might take more the positive or take more the negative based upon the male, where the male was thinking at the time. Or sometimes the woman can influence it based upon her emotions and feelings and her mind state and her spirit at the time. Her spirit inside her may have certain beings inside her to make the spirit talk to the first body within that sperm, to make the sperm as a body move through and look around and be like, okay, oh, I should follow this person or I should follow that person. She may have certain feelings and beings inside her to make her. It's a lot of things that could go on when you in that world to if you are already a confused spirit, to make you choose a side, to make you choose the positive or negative. But within the 9 months, boom, whatever one you choose, you may come out as, you may develop as the more of the positive charge, which aka come out as a boy, or develop more of the negative charge, aka come out as the female. But remind you, when you took the first body, right, you took the first body because you resonated with how that body was constructed in the first place, and it was confused. So as you are already a confused spirit, that's what you want to experience. So you come into this world as male or female, but as a spirit, you still confused. You know what I'm saying? So you may be like both genders, or you like the opposite sex, or things of that nature, because you haven't truly decided. But the bodies that you went in decided for you. You see what I'm saying? It's like you took the first forms, and it decided for you. So, you know, based upon that was the frequency you was resonating with. So that's how you came in. So, you know, it's nothing right or wrong about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just you. It ain't got nothing to do with you going to hell or heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's just you. If you a confused spirit, you was a confused spirit, because you resonated with a confused person, which was your father. So your father created a confused body. So you resonated with that body. So you took that body, aka that sperm cell or whatever like that. And then when you went into the mother, she helped you decide what one you was going to gear towards, whether it was more positive or negative. Then once you came out, whether male or female, boom, but you still that spirit controlling that body. See what I'm saying? You just building a gang of bodies over your original shapeless, formless, odorless, non-flammable gas. And the first body you took was the one that you resonated with. The frequency vibrations that you resonated with. So your father had the same idea that you had wherever you came from. See what I'm saying? So this is how you determine, and this is how you have, if you want to, now you can know how to control it. See, we live in a society where there's so many things placed in front of us, external things, that these things dictate for you. These things dictate your mind states. These things dictate your emotions and feelings. So if your mind state and your emotions and feelings, if you know those are charges, and if you know there's something outside of you controlling these charges, then you have to make sense out of, well, these people is controlling if I even have a male or a female. See what I'm saying? Take your power back. Understand what's the charges in the metaphysics realms. And once you understand astrology and understand the charges in the metaphysics realm, then you can understand everything. You won't never have to learn from no religion or no Bible or learn from no scientists or anything like that, because you will learn from where they got it from. You know what I'm saying? And you could come up with your own way of dissecting it, but they can never say it's wrong, and it will always correlate. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm able to say the Holy Spirit is evil, because I understand life. I understand the real world, and the Bible even tell you to understand the stars. So once I understand the stars, okay, now it helped me understand, okay, now I see where y'all God at, and now I see where y'all God at. Now I see if it was even an overall seat, where that overall seat will be. And this astrology is the first original everything. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, everything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Going into a void. Before we all have vessels and shit like that, for a being to even become a black hole, they was a Holy Spirit. There was a spirit amongst all the other spirits, right? And then that was all the spirits. But when the spirit went down, right? We're going to call it down. I don't know if it's up or down, but let's just say separate. That created the void. It's a void because it separated itself from all the whiteness, all the other spirit, as one frequency. And then once one of them separated itself, it became a soul. It became separate. See that S word? It became searching for something, and it wanted to experience its own realm of reality, its own kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Its own idea. So really, like that was like an overall idea, but one of those like the overall idea separating itself to want to have its own idea. And when it put it in a void, that means it put it in a void. When you have an idea and then you put emotions and feelings on it, you put it in a void. You put it in the waters. You put emotions and feelings on it. So you're vibrating it now on your own experience, your individual experience. So anytime you hear anything about a Holy Spirit, right, that's a spirit that went into the whole. It separated itself from the overall. So it no longer was all white. It went into a void in the darkness where things can be created. Because listen, black, right, is all colors together. White is void of all colors, right? So white is nothing. It's the overall frequency. It's no thing, no shape and form. But things could take shape and form inside a void. It's like water, it's fluid, it's vibrating. You know what I'm saying? Because even though it's no things, just like the white, but it's everything in one. It's all colors in one. So it can start separating and spreading out and making shapes and forms and start to experience. You see what I'm saying? It's like a spirit went into a motherfucking hole. It wanted to experience his own fucking kingdom. So you can say I'm wrong all you want when I say the Holy Spirit is evil, but just the simple fact that why do you want your own kingdom? Why do you want your own household? Why do you want your own family? Why do you want your own anything? Why don't you want to be a part of the whole? I bet you got every excuse in the world. I bet you could blame society and blame everything in the world. But why you? See, you can't answer that. See, you see what I'm saying? So this lets you know how far down the line we are, and this lets you know what sun or what fallen star we control by and who we up under. And then once you get into astrology, you will start to break down, okay, where specifically we at? Who's specifically we in? What's specifically going on? Astrology is just calculating the times and what times we in and location. Time and location. Where you at and what time you experiencing. Period. That's what astrology is. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. Same way it's a summertime, it's a wintertime, respective to where you at, that's astrology. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. What you ain't gotta know shit else. Once you know astrology, you could know pretty much the world in general. Because what you will realize is even within astrology, there's a lot of things that's made up. And you will understand the true essence of astrology. You will understand that astrology ain't really about horoscopes and things of that nature. Astrology is really about the body and the time we are in and the location that we're at within that body. You know what I'm saying? Then once you know that, then you can start to piggyback off that and be like, okay, if this means the body and the time and the location that we're at within it, then okay, this what happens here and this what happens here. Then at that point, once you really know astrology, you ain't even got to correlate to nothing being a sun, correlate to nothing being a moon. You ain't even got to call them stars or nothing. You'll start realizing that everything is just energy, but it's energies migrating in specific locations. They migrating in specific locations. You see what I'm saying? And what we appear to see is just something that we collectively agree on. But it's really not that shit. What we see is whatever we want to see, and we collectively agree on that shit. But one thing's for sure is it's motherfucking energies that's migrating in certain areas, and you have certain energy force fields that was migrating in certain areas before others. So one frequency vibrations of that energy space is going to be bigger than certain other ones, but it's always space within space, and we all traveling within the shit. And once you really understand that, you will really be able to understand, like, oh, you would get it. You would get it. You would be like, okay, I see how light ain't opposite the darkness. I see how we're supposed to actually look at things. I see how things was created, and you will be able to understand how to ascend, and you'll really be able to understand what a true God is. And then it'll make you feel like, man, I don't even want to call God anymore. And you're gonna be looked at as evil. You're gonna be looked at as the Satan, the devil, because who everybody is ruled by is the Satan devil, is the Holy Spirit. The spirit that's in void and darkness, that's in the hole, that wanted to be worshipped and wanted to be the highest worshipped. You see what I'm saying? So if everybody under that world and under that being, then hell yeah, a person like me is gonna be looked at as evil or Satan, whatever like that. But I'm telling you what the fuck it is. So I'm saying, that's not, you have to understand, that's not the only God. That sun and this being that we in ain't God, and it ain't the overall God. And people who don't understand astrology and people who are stuck in religion and their religion that tell them about astrology, it only points to their God. And in so many respects, this sun that we're under and this being that we in so many respects, it is God. It is more powerful than what you in. It is the God of the Bible. But if you really understand it, it's telling you that that's not the overall. That's telling you that just this is the being you in, motherfucker. Like, it's not the overall. You see what I'm saying? And you may need the being you're in to sustain yourself in order to ascend effectively. But see, that's going through trial and error and experience in the regular way. You know what I'm saying? We in a time where we're receiving so much information, we could skip shit. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. That's where I came from. I didn't skip shit to be here. I didn't have to come here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving y'all an idea of how things work. You know what I'm saying? And why astrology is important on a way deeper level than people really think. You know what I'm saying? Because once you really tap in, like how I'm explaining, you really see, like, you really be like, damn, like, this shit is like a movie. And it's like a movie you didn't got lost in one piece of the movie and you didn't have to. You see what I'm saying? It's like you didn't got lost in one piece of the movie and you didn't have to. You could have sat back and had the choice of seeing a bunch of movies and being able to go in and out as you please. But you didn't went into one of the movies and wanted to make a part 2, wanted to make a part 3. You never wanted that movie to end. And then the movie constantly ending, but you constantly wanting to make a sequel. So you constantly making part 2, part 3, part 4. And then the movie end up being, it's like a failure. You're not even making no more money off that movie, but you making talk shows off the movie now. Now that movie done got sitcoms and shows, and you keep wanting to experience, and you don't have to. Because there's another place where it ain't even movies no more. It's projections or something like that. But you wouldn't even know what that is because you still stuck on VHS movies. You don't even know what DVDs or Blu-rays is because you still want to experience VCR movies and still want to. You get my analogy? Like, I'm telling you, it's deep. Like, you just get into astrology the real way. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.